Hello everyone, and welcome to my Y&R Homies channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Billy's trip to Paris is ruined by Phyllis, and Damian contacts Nate. Chloe acknowledges at society that she detests Sally leaving for Paris without her. She sighs and tells her friend that she deserves this vacation because she didn't turn back on Adam. That wasn't an option, according to Sally. She thinks that everything is going great. Chloe questions if Billy Abbott or her job is to blame for the expression on her face. It's catnip for women like her, Victoria, Lily, Chelsea, and now Sally when Chloe shares her thoughts about Billy, adding that he's clever and witty, but also damaged. Sally acknowledges that she may be smiling since Billy will be in Paris at the same time as her. That's fantastic, Chloe says. It's an international excursion, not a lifelong commitment, which is a different matter. His record isn't that impressive. Sally touts him starting up his business and laments people only focus on his errors. He will demonstrate his superiority to the business community. Chloe doesn't believe it. Over the phone at his house, Billy expresses gratitude to Jack for the deposit that would finance his new business. He shouts, "It's open," when the doorbell rings. Are we celebrating or what? Billy says as Phyllis and Daniel enter. I guess that depends on you, Daniel adds. Billy delivered her an impassioned speech, which Phyllis wants to convey to Daniel. How did that go again? Asks Billy. This will be delicate and a lot of work, Billy adds as they sat down. Everyone must give it their all. Given that he has been nervous, he would really like to know what Daniel is thinking. He thinks Abbott Communications is the ideal place for him to work. Where do you see him in this? Daniel asks. Billy assures him that he will be an important member of the problem-solving Tiger Squad. He believes that Daniel's actions to help his family survive that ordeal were courageous. He is entitled to a second opportunity. Although Daniel is grateful for that, he is unsure if he should be moving on from Billy. Amy wants to know the identity of the man standing in front of her in Nate's living room, saying, "This man is a liar, he's not my son. Never in my life have I seen him." Nate interrupts Holden as he turns to go. No chance. He insists on knowing who he is and what on earth he is pursuing. What have you done with him? Amy demands to know whether her kid is still alive. Holden acknowledges that he works for Damian while raising his hands. Since he doesn't know him and doesn't have time for impromptu encounters, he sent him to meet with Nate. Why would he be so secretive? Amy asks. Holden claims to cherish his solitude and time. He is accused by Nate of defrauding him. He promised a position that didn't exist, Holden responds. Holden clearly knows where Damian is, according to Amy. It's a matter of life and death, she says, urging him to take her to him right away. Holden is informed by Amy that she must visit her son before it's too late. Holden claims Damian was rather explicit. Amy sobs because he needs to know something. She forgives him for excluding her since she loves him. She is in need of his forgiveness. Holden understands that Amy is a wonderful mother and a decent lady, Nate informs Amy. He tells her to go more slowly. You could do the decent thing and help me, Amy says to Holden, stating that she needs to see her kid. None of this was anything Holden signed up for. That's between him and Damian, according to Amy. Will you lend me a hand? Holden inquires as to what she meant when she said, before it's too late. Chloe claims she isn't making fun of Billy at society. Sally advises her to think positively about his new endeavor. He may be a big success, Chloe shrugs. Or he might not, but he's a decent man who enjoys having fun. After Adam used that instrument on her, Sally deserves some romance. Sally is eager to see Billy again. Chloe acknowledges that she used to be somewhat fixated on him, so she can relate to her feelings. Sally recounts losing Adam and not wanting to risk getting her heart hurt again. Then, there was Billy, who was just as miserable. They found chemistry and a relationship once they stopped discussing Adam and Chelsea. It restored her sense of desirability. It isn't and might never be serious. She is simply enjoying herself. Chloe cautions that although Billy is entertaining, he frequently makes mistakes in his life. The catch here is you. Billy would stop at nothing to keep her if he is intelligent. He could have a shot at atonement because of Sally. Sally mocks her for stabilizing a relationship, but Chloe maintains that she makes a difference in Billy's life. They argue over whether he will require reminders to keep things from blowing up. He would be quite fine without her, according to Sally, and vice versa. Chloe nods. You're worried about getting too invested and attached. Sally accuses her acquaintance of badgering her. Chloe says Billy's family to her. He would be quite fortunate if this develops into anything serious, and she would be pleased for them. More, get to know the new Damian. He informs Daniel that they will be leading with technology at Billy's house. They will use AI to its full potential, but they will not allow the robots to think for them. They will become redundant if they leave that to others. Their minds will do the thinking and keep everything new, according to Phyllis. That's where his ability comes in, Billy informs Daniel. We can make anything you can imagine happen. Daniel is fascinated and impressed, but he wants to know how Billy sees them fitting into this new organization. What do you really want? Billy asks. Which would he prefer, gaming or his art? Not art, not at this time, Daniel adds. What kind of impact do you want to make? Billy asks. You are capable of writing your own ticket. Phyllis tells Lucy how nice this would look and how it will release her son. It sounds amazing, but plans may go awry, according to Daniel. He asks Billy whether he has the cash. Billy claims that the money is in the bank and that Jack is on board. He and the startup are trusted by his brother. What are your thoughts? Are you in? Daniel isn't refusing. He needs a night to consider it. He should take a few days, Billy advises. He must be dedicated if he joins the team. Phyllis is shocked when Billy tells her that he is going to Paris tonight. Billy says he's going with Sally and it's not for work. Amy wants Holden to inform her son at Nate's house that she needs to see him immediately. Nate notes that the man has faith in him. He doesn't have to see Amy again if that's what he wants, she only wants to meet once. With all due respect, sighs Holden. How ill are you? I need to see him as soon as possible, is all Amy says. For Nate, it ought to be sufficient. Holden says Damian is a stubborn man, but he will try. They believe in him, according to Nate, and it needs to be soon. Holden informs him that Damian will be curious about his role in this. Whatever his thinking, it's bigger than that, Nate replies. If he turns up, he will be pleased to explain it to him. Not Paris, Phyllis tells him. As she stomps out, Billy laughs and says, let the good times roll. Chloe hopes Sally doesn't die of envy over Paris as she chats to her about adorable clothes at society. Next time, Sally will take her. She should take some time for romance, Chloe advises. There's no pressure, Sally explains, they're just enjoying themselves. Sally advises Chloe to go home and write a book when she keeps talking endlessly about Paris. More, the grown-up son of a Y&R alum, he apologizes and gives Amy a drink at Nate's house. He ought to have recognized that man as not being Damian. How could you have known, she wonders. How her son could force Holden to do this is beyond Amy's comprehension. Nate summarizes that they wouldn't have known what was happening if she hadn't seen him. Amy claims that it is painful that her son avoided her by keeping these lies and secrets. Damian persisted in that crap even after Nate brought her up to Holden. He feels this way about her. Nate informs her that because of him, he was exercising caution. He will now learn that she misses and loves him. Damian will remember that Nate is the finest mother there is. And his continued devotion for her. She questions whether Holden can persuade Damian to change his mind. Given that he deceived him, Nate shrugs and admits that he has some persuasive abilities. Now he realizes how urgent it is. Amy is concerned that Damian will. Nate is amazed that he believed he had his half-brother under control, but it wasn't him. He sent a plant, but why? Is there something he's attempting to hide? Perhaps he obtained his riches and influence illegally and doesn't want anybody to follow him too closely. Amy recalls how flawless he was as a newborn. In her heart, everything is conceivable, even if she prefers to believe he had a happy existence. In the park, Holden encounters Damian. Holden responds that a lot happened and he won't like anything when Damian asks what he learnt about Nate and his mother. And she saw me, he says to Damian after seeing his mother. Damian swears that I end the park. Damian has the phone and tells Nate, I am Damian, and I want to hear what you have to say. Let's meet.